Hi, everyone. Welcome to the 2024 Latinx Kidlit Book Festival. Um, I'm Matthew Rivera, and I'm your moderator for today's event, for today's draw off. Just a few things to get out of the way. Please read our anti-harassment policy in the chat box. Um, and don't forget to subscribe to the Latinx Kidlit Book Festival's YouTube channel. And if you're a school, classroom, librarian, or educator joining us today, our school visit fund is back. You can enter to win a free visit from a Latinx author or illustrator for your classroom or library. You can find the link to the entry form in the chat. All right, so I'm going to go around and ask everyone to introduce yourself and talk about your book. And I'll start again. I'm Matthew Rivera. I'm an illustrator and writer, and my author illustrator debut, The Plant Rescuer, just came out this May, and it's available at your favorite bookstore. So, Adriana, you wanna start?
Hello, I'm Adriana Garcia, and I illustrated this book, Remembering. I did it with my good friend Selena is the one who wrote it, and it's about a young kiddo who is creating an ofrenda for their dog that passed away. So check it out.
Yay. Olivia.
Hi, I'm Olivia de Castro, and my book is Great Idea Malia, written by Alia Agostini, and it's about little girl. Her mom gets a new job, and she's just very independent and wants to help her with everything. So it's a great book for working parents and working.
And it just came out this week, correct?
Yes, it came out on the 17th. So happy book birthday to Malia.
Happy book
Yay!
birthday. Yay. Thank you. And Marcelo.
And hi everyone, my name is Marcelo, and I'm the author of El Peor Día del Mundo, also available in English as The Worst Teddy Ever, and also El Atrapasueños, and in English, The Dream Catcher. This is my latest book, and I'm the author and illustrator of both of them. And this one, it's about Miguelito, a kid that lives in Oaxaca selling his dream catchers with Abuelito. And both of them, they just wander throughout the book about dreams and how to catch them. And it's a very sweet, tender story.
Awesome. And congratulations. So we'll start off with a couple of drawing prompts, and then what I will do while we draw is ask a couple of questions. Um, and we'll just go around and feel free to chime in and talk and share your experience. So I guess the first question, what was your community like as a child when you were a child? And I know, like for me, I grew up in a very rural farming community. If you want to think about your answers, and in the meantime, your first prompt is, sorry, let me pull these up. Um, just draw your favorite person in your community. It could be anyone from, oh, draw your favorite person as an animal in your favorite community. So like a raccoon postman or a bear barista or a member of your community as your favorite animal. And go.
So hard.
Oh boy.
Yeah.
Oh gosh.
So so Adriana, growing up, what was your community like?
So I grew up in the west side of San Antonio. I'm actually in the house that I grew up in. So
Oh
it's my
wow.
childhood house, and I turned it into a studio. And so like my aunt lived down the street, my other aunt lived down the street, and my grandmother down, my grandparents down the street. So we were always going to each other's houses, and um, so that's great. And then like the kids that we went to school with. our parents knew each other, and they knew each other within the community. So, so that I would have to say that, and we always knew our neighbors. So that was really cool. I felt like I felt like I knew everybody.
Yeah. Well, that's amazing that you're still in the house that where you grew up. That's lovely. Um, and Olivia, how about you?
Um, well, I grew up in the suburbs of New Jersey.
Okay.
So it was pretty much a small town, and everyone could kind of walk everywhere, which was really great. Um, for the most part, everybody knew everyone, which was really fantastic. You know, felt very at home and easy to get to know everybody. Um, and well, so right now I am actually, oops, drawing our crossing guard.
Oh, okay.
Walking to and from school was honestly like what I remember the most. We moved around, I was like 14, but walking around everywhere and being able to walk everywhere is one of the best parts of my childhood, I think. Just having everyone be so accessible, especially as a kid when you can't like drive everywhere by yourself.
Yeah. Um, I'm sorry. What are you drawing again? You're drawing the crossing guard. Your crossing
Yes,
guard.
yes.
Okay. Very cool. And Marcelo, where did you grow up, Marcelo?
So I grew up in Mexico. I'm from like a small town called León in the state is Guanajuato, and I grew up there. It's not very rural, but it's not like a big city. It's just something kind of like in between. And I remember spending a lot of time in my abuelita's place with my mom and my cousins, my brother, my sister. So it was very nice, and we would always go out, but like just like really close to my abuelita's place, to like a nearby store with Don Chuy, and he will sell papitas, and then we'll go there and then just buy random tiny stuff, and then just come back to my abuelita's place and just eat together.
Oh, that's fantastic. Wow. Yes. That's amazing. I grew up in a very small, like I said, farming community, and
Mm,
I spent a lot of time at my grandparents' farm.
mm.
They were cotton ranchers. But I loved like going to the every Friday. My nana would take me to the store, and
Oh.
I love just like walking through, and she would always get me like a bag of chips and like a fruit punch or something, and I would sit in the cart while she would go around and do her shopping every Friday. Um, so that was a really fond memory for me, going
Oh.
to the local market with my nana. And then she'd go home and make tortillas. um,
Abuelitos are the best.
I know. Um, so let's see. We're gonna wrap this one up in just a few minutes, but a really important question for you all. So, in your opinion, what makes a community? Like, what does a community uh, mean to you? Um, and so, let's see. Why don't we? How are we on wrap? You all ready to wrap this one up?
Yes.
Okay.
I'm ready.
What I've drawn is this is my librarian as a squirrel. So. Carrying a stack of books.
Oh.
Olivia, let's your crossing guard.
Yes. So this is our elementary school crossing guard, Mrs. C. I just remember her having the loudest voice and would always protect the kids when she was helping us cross the street.
Oh.
And we loved her, even though like you could hear her from 10 blocks away. So I drew her as a baboon.
Very cute. Very cute. Um, okay. Marcelo, what do you have?
Mine is supposedly a male man, and then he's a tiger. I just love mailmen. I think that they're like contemporary Santa Claus because they bring presents to like houses. So they're always like it's always exciting when they're around. And I love them. And I just thought that it'll be very, very cute to turn them into a tiger.
That's very cute. Very cool. And Adriana, what do you have?
It might be a little hard to read, but it is a lion. I drew my neighbor. He is. I always remembered him outside working in the yard. He was never inside. He was always outside on the yard. And he's like older already, and he has a walker, but that doesn't stop him from weed whacking. So what he did was he connected the weed whacker to his walker
Oh my
so that he continued to do it. And so like
Wow.
I drew him as a lion like fierce.
I love that. That's awesome. I love the walker. That's such a unique touch. Um, did you? Okay.
I thought
Okay.
that that was
So
the
the
Weed
next.
Walker. That was
Oh
the
yeah.
Weed Walker. Sorry about that.
So so the next prompt is draw a hidden gem in your neighborhood, something that maybe not a lot of people notice, or something that you just really love in your neighborhood. It could be like maybe somewhere in a park, a place that you love to go and sit. Just something that you really love in your community, in your neighborhood. Um, and while you draw, the prompt again, or the question is, what does community mean to you? And I know for me, community is my neighborhood. You know, I live in an area called the Alberta Arts District here in Portland. So there's a lot of like coffee houses and galleries, and I love connecting with people. There's a local market near my house. I love connecting with like the staff there, and getting to know people. But then also like community for me is like I have writing partners, I have people in my life that are like family. Um, so community not only is my neighborhood, but it's also like people that I'm friends with throughout like the country. So writing community, etc. So I will start with Olivia. What does community mean to you?
Oh gosh. Community is everything. Community is family. Community is safety. Community is where you feel that you can be yourself. And community doesn't necessarily need to be a place where you're born. I think it's a place where you feel most comfortable and the most like you. So, whatever that means for you, really. I think it's a little flexible.
Yeah, I like that. Um, so, Marcelo, what does community mean to you?
So for me, I think of community as a group of kind, loving, and nurturing people trying to create a safe space for everyone that it's involved. um that's kind of like the way that I understand community, and then that can exist in like different levels. So it can be just like a tiny group of friends having a game night, or like a tiny group of friends just trying to create art together, or like a tiny group of friends trying to put up some project together. um so yeah, I think that any place where there's love, care, and kind of like an intention to nurture and make something grow, with intention, I think that's community.
Great, I love that. Um, how about you, Adriana?
So I think like community, everything what everybody said was so powerful and beautiful. So yes, the people who make you feel seen, the people who you can be yourself around, but also that the people that inspire you, right? The people that are around you that inspire you to be better, to be kinder, to do more, to help each other. I think that's my idea of community, because I find that in friends and family, and then the community at large, the artist community as well.
Wow, great. Those are all such amazing answers. So now I'm curious as we continue to draw, Olivia, what is on your drawing pad?
So I live in Brooklyn, New York. I live right at the very tip, so I'm right by the water. So there is a pier that I like to go down to. I walk down to, and there's actually a little ferry that can take kind of throughout all the different points in the city, which is this like it's just this wonderful little experience because you can sit either on top or below the ferry, so you get this beautiful view of the skyline. And people take it to the beach, people take it up into like more populated parts like Wall Street. But it's a really great way to just experience everything all at once and have like it feels like a little mini vacation.
Oh, how amazing. Is it nice to just go and just like when you need time, just like a little peace of mind, just to go and sit
Yeah.
alone and contemplate?
Exactly. Yeah. And sometimes, I mean, depending on the time of day, around like sunset, it turns into a little bit of a party boat. Everybody likes to hang out on board, and everyone's really having a good time. It's fantastic.
Oh, that's great. That's great. Um, Adriana?
So there, right down the street, there's like a small little park, and you have to go over this bridge because it goes over a train. I didn't get to the train. It goes over this train, and you can walk to it. And at night, you can see the skyline, and you can see the sunset, and it's just so pretty. So that's what I drew.
Okay. How are the sunsets in Texas?
They're gorgeous. I have a
Mm.
whole album of just sunsets. I will take pictures, and they're just so pretty because it's and the bridge faces west, so you just get to see it. It's just so pretty. They're so gorgeous.
No, that's amazing. I'm originally from Arizona, and I mean, that's one thing I miss about Arizona, the sunsets. Like the sunsets are nice here in Oregon, but in Arizona, it seems next level, like Southwest. I don't know why. Marcelo?
Supposedly, I'm drawing a tiny library
Oh,
from
I
like
love that.
one of my
Yeah.
neighbors. So I love that they have like this tiny library outside, and it's super super cute. And I often go there and make tiny donations of books so the neighbors can read what I've read or something that I want them to read. And I just love it. I think that it's super super fun. I love that there's spaces like this in our community, and it's I think that it's just like a tiny gem that it's there, and I really appreciate it.
That's amazing. I love the proliferation of tiny libraries. I don't know how they are like in Brooklyn or if you have them, but they're all over Portland. And
Yeah,
it's
we
really
do.
I actually thought about putting one in my front yard.
Oh.
It's still a goal.
You should.
You definitely do
You're
it.
great.
Definitely do.
Uh, are there any in your town, Adriana?
Funny you should ask. My partner made one, and he put it out.
Oh.
He put it
Oh,
out, and
Oh,
nice.
the first, because we live right by apartments, and the first night, um, all the books were gone,
Oh,
and
wow.
so then
yay.
we did it again, and all the books were gone, and then we did it again, and some were taken, and now people are putting books in there that we
Oh,
don't put in there.
Oh, that's fantastic.
Yeah,
Oh.
so
I
much
love
fun.
that.
So I'm so happy you drew that, Marcelo.
Oh, I love them. I think that it's such a great project, and like just like it's kind of like a collaboration, you know? And I love that.
Yeah. I mean, we've
I mean,
taken books to be like, oh, let's read this one. So yeah.
Oh,
That's a great example of community, right? I mean,
and it's so
that's like
tiny.
yeah. And really quick, what I drew is I live close to a park, and there's a little enclave that not a lot of people go where you can go and sit. But what I love about it is it's kind of on a slope, and you can see in the next state, you can see Mount St. Helens. So that's I don't know if you're familiar with Mount St. Helens. It was a volcano. Um, but I love that view, and that's where I go when I need to just like sit and just be alone with my thoughts or something, or work out a manuscript or something. I don't know.
Mm.
Um, so I'm going to take a prompt from the chat. So someone wants to see a nosy neighbor. So feel free to put a spin on it, and think of like what a nosy neighbor looks like in your neighborhood, or like, are you a nosy neighbor, or what does that look like? And so I'll move on to the next question. And so what are like let's talk about your art, and what are some of the primary sources of inspiration for your art, for your illustration? And I'll start with Marcelo.
Um, so my inspirations for my illustration. So I'm a teacher, and I teach kids from like 4 years old all the way to like 18. So a wide range. And for me, my biggest inspiration is my kids. I just find it so fascinating fascinating the way that they create. Just like sometimes, speaking of nosy neighbors, I might be the nosy neighbor inside my classroom.
Oh
Whenever,
no.
whenever my kids, especially the tiny ones, they're like drawing, they always create like these amazing textures, and I'm always kind of like super nosy and then trying to see the way that they hold the pencil or the brush to get the texture that I want to get as well. And then I study them, just like the way that they create marks, or the way that they hold the brush, or the way that they mix colors. And I just find it super fascinating and inspiring. Um,
Mhm.
so yeah, and that's what I try to do a lot with my art. I try to kind of like unlearn everything that I learned in art school, and then go back to drawing as a kid. So my tiny kids, they really inspire me to get there, and then just keep it super playful and more kind of like unhinged and raw.
Yeah, that's lovely. It wasn't it like Picasso that said he spent his entire life trying to learn how to draw as a child again, Like
Yes,
that's amazing.
it's
Um,
hard.
it is hard. It is hard. I love your textures. Your book is beautiful.
Oh,
Dreamcatcher is beautiful.
oh,
I'm a
thank
big
you.
texture guy myself.
Yeah,
So I love playing around with like watercolor textures,
yeah.
and colored pencil and whatnot. Do you hand cut your art? Is it all hand cut?
For the first one, it is. For the worst city ever, everything is just like actual paper and cutouts. But working with an editor, I noticed that it wasn't as sustainable as I thought. So for the next one, the Dreamcatcher, I just scanned the textures and then just did the cutouts digitally. So it's easier to just edit, and if they need anything to be changed, way easier.
Okay. Okay. Um, yeah, I just like I said, I was really drawn to your book because of the textures,
Oh,
which are
thank you so
amazing.
much.
Adriana, what inspires your work as an illustrator?
The all my friends and family really almost every book that I've created has somebody from the community in there. So I know when I was growing up, I didn't see any books I mean, now there's a lot, but I didn't see any books that with people who look like me. And
Hmm.
so, or the people who I saw every day. And so I make it a point to put real people who I see in my community in the books that I create. Um, so I get inspired by the beautiful faces that are around me.
Oh, that's lovely. And so like what medium do you use for your art?
Acrylic. I use acrylic, and so I paint on paper, kind of like what
Okay.
we're doing now. But I take pictures of my community. I'm always taking pictures, and so I always ask first, and so I'd like to use that as inspiration, and as a reference for the work that I do.
And that's wonderful. And for remembering, was are the animals used in the book? Are they drawn from your life? From
Yes. So,
no.
my friends, it is a family. My friend Isamar and Kuyatzin and Sebastian and Alejandro, they are all in this book. We spent a day together to act out the book, and I took pictures of them. And then the little dog that's in the book is actually my puppy,
Oh, yeah.
and so
Oh,
I put my little puppy in this book as well. So yeah, um, yeah. I just anything that's around me. Actually, my windowsill is in the book. There's a image of my windowsill, and everything that I put on my own windowsill, I put in the book. So I just use what I see around me. I'm trying to
That's
keep it.
amazing.
Yeah, it's there.
That's wonderful. Um,
I also like to
and,
sneak in like a lot of like the dogs in my life into my books.
Oh
So
yeah.
I thought super cute.
the adults in your life?
No, the dogs.
The dog.
Oh, the dog. Oh, the dogs. Okay.
Yeah, dogs
Um,
in my life.
Adriana, that puppy is that like a puppy from childhood or growing up or?
So my friend Selena who wrote this book, her cat died, and my dog, my
Oh,
Pomeranian, died, and she
oh.
wrote the story as a kind of as a condolence letter, and then it got
Oh,
picked up, and I was able
Mhm.
to paint something, and to work on it, and then a new puppy came into my life. And so I used her in some of the images. So here I'm going to show you one image. So
Oh,
oh,
I
okay.
really love it because you're going to spend a lot of time with the drawings, right? You
Yeah,
gotta
yes.
of course.
love you gotta love what you're drawing.
Yeah.
Of course.
Oh,
Oh,
Oh, that's really sweet. I love that. I love that you both put animals in your like, you know, animals that are in your life in your artwork. Um,
Let me bring it in.
how about you, Olivia? What inspires you?
Oh gosh. Definitely my family and those around me. I live with my boyfriend, and I always use him as references for people. So I always take random little angled pictures. I'm like, listen, I need to draw a nose. Just stay still. Let me get every angle of your nose. So I basically just whoever's in the room with me, I'm like, hey, stay, make this weird thing with your hand. I just need to take a picture really quickly. And
Yeah.
then sometimes I'll just go to like my local cafe because I mean, because I work as a freelance illustrator, I usually just work from home. But being at home all the time is like, it's you get a little stir crazy. So when I try to get out and work, somewhere else, I try to go to local coffee shops. And in those coffee shops, sometimes I spy a little bit on people and use them for reference or inspiration if I overhear like a random little fun story that they're talking about. I don't try, but if you're loud, I'm gonna hear you. I might use it.
that's great.
Yeah, that's I'm not a freelancer anymore. I have a 9 to 5, but when I was freelancing, I would also go to coffee houses and stuff and sit and just people watch. Also parks. Parks are really good for
Hmm.
people watching as well. But yeah, but the desire to not get stir crazy, that was always to, you know, being an illustrator or writer, I think we tend to isolate. I isolated a lot.
Mm.
So,
Hmm.
all right. So, Adriana, what do you have on your?
Um, so I have a neighbor who's looking out her window. So so sometimes our the dogs in the neighborhood get loose and they run around. They just keep running around and they bark at everything. So I drew
Oh,
the dogs having fun and the
Very
neighbor
cute.
being like,
Love
they're
love that. And Marcelo, who's your what is
so this is the kind of nosy neighbor I wish I had, and I wouldn't mind. I wish I had a like an alien neighbor, and that they could teleport and anywhere, and then just kind of like stare at stuff and just kind of like be like, "Hey, join me, and take me to your spaceship."
take me to I love that. That's a nosy neighbor.
Yeah,
Um,
that'll be nice. I wouldn't mind it.
and, Olivia, what do you
Yeah. So I drew my apartment building, and honestly, our walls here are paper thin, especially if someone leaves their window open. So for the most, you can't help but hear everybody and everything. So um, I drew one particular neighbor yapping really loud on the phone, and so then everybody else can hear. So you might not even have to try to be nosy.
yeah. Oh, that's I hope you haven't heard anything embarrassing for that someone.
Thankfully, no. Actually, our neighbor above us, she's a really beautiful piano player, but
Oh, okay.
um,
Yeah.
she does like to play at like 11 at night. So,
Oh,
Oh, yeah. No, thank you.
convenient.
That's a little late.
yes.
Um, all right, so I have a very nosy neighbor. I have a cat. There's a neighborhood cat, Harry, that loves to go around and get in people's business. He's not my cat, he's a neighbor's cat. And so like even when you like open your door, you have to like stop him from coming in. But he's very sweet, very cute. But I'll look out my window and he'll be in my raised beds where I grow like flowers and stuff. And he'll just be sitting there looking like maybe he's trying to like track a bird or something, you know? But he's very sweet and very cute, but he's definitely a nosy neighbor. Um, so if cats could talk, I'm just grateful that they can't. So that hey. Um, so okay, so we'll do another the next prompt. I'll take one again from the chat. Um, Ooh, this one's a good one. Draw the best food in your neighborhood. Like, what is like a restaurant
Mm.
or like the best meal or just draw the best food you can find in your neighborhood. And now I'm gonna ask the next question. Um, and do you keep a sketchbook, a visual diary to capture your ideas? How does it help your creative process? Um, like, are you a sketcher? Like, do you sketch daily? Do you like make art every day? And I'll start with Adriana.
So what I do is I take a lot of photos. A lot of my artwork is kind of photorealistic and with what I like to speak is magical realism. So I take a lot of photos and I'll sketch those out. And then also just I'll 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 sketch not to create something, but just to be creative. Does that make sense? To
Yeah,
not so that I'm not trying to do something, I'm just having fun. Does that make sense? Yeah.
yeah, that makes total sense. Um, Olivia?
I keep way too many sketchbooks. I have about like 5 that I try to bring with me everywhere, even though they get really heavy. But they're all different sizes and all different kinds of paper because I like to use different tools when I
Hmm.
make art. So sometimes I'll be like, oh, I only feel like using pencil today, or oh, I feel like doing watercolor, so I had to bring my watercolor sketchbook with me, or I want to use everything. So my colored pencils, my regular pencils, my markers, my everything. So I get very indecisive. So I like to bring them all with me everywhere I go. So it's a little bit of preparation. It's a little bit of chaos, but in the end, it helps to bring everything with me so that way, if I change my mind, I have backups. And so I have so many bookcases filled to the brim with all different kinds of sketches. And I see sometimes people like on online or on Instagram, they have the most beautiful finished sketchbooks and they look so, so pretty. Mine are not like that. Mine are so ugly because I just need to get the ideas out of my head right away. Um, and the pretty stuff comes like when I sit down and like, okay, the sketch is here. This is where I get the ugly stuff out of the way, and now I can make it pretty.
Yeah. I totally get that. Like my sketchbooks are embarrassingly bad, right? They look like chicken scratch, really. And like it takes me like sometimes I'll post my sketches to Instagram, like my Instagram stories, whatever. But if you look really close at the sketch, you can see probably hours of like eraser marks, right? So but I totally get that. Like I have a huge stack of sketchbooks, and actually started sort of a visual diary of just playing around with different media. So like this is what I've been doing lately with this sketchbook, and just splashing paint around and like having it like not really make any sense whatsoever,
Uh,
to try and loosen up.
Great.
Oh, I love
Um,
that.
to try and loosen up
Oh my
um,
God.
the medium.
I,
So,
yeah,
Marcelo, do you keep a sketchbook?
I do, but if I can be very, very honest, um, my sketchbook slowly turned into my therapy notebook. So I just have like I just have a sketchbook and then I use it for everything. If I'm traveling somewhere, I just take it with me. And if I need to draw, I draw. If I need to write, I write. And since I'm an author as well, I write a lot. But most of what I write, it's from my therapy session, and and I'm always
That's
taking
fantastic.
notes and just
love.
like doodling on the side. So it's just kind of like a big mess of nonsense, but to me it makes sense, kind of. So yeah, but I do keep a sketchbook. I've always kept one, and always will. That's a huge tip that I give to my students. If you want to get better at drawing, always have a sketchbook of some sort, and then just have it available for you to draw if in case that you need it.
Yeah, I mean, sketching is therapy. That again, that sketchbook I showed you, that is my therapy,
It
right?
is.
Like if I'm having a good day and I'm feeling happy, and or if I'm having a bad day, it's like just splashing paint around, whatever. But yeah, sketchbooks, I don't know for you, like they're therapeutic, right?
Yeah,
They're
they are. And for me, I think that a sketchbook when I was younger, I always had a sketchbook, and for me that was kind of like my safe space. That was always my like the space that I could go to, and nobody could be there. It was just for me, and not only for my eyes. So I've always see the like a sketchbook as a kind of like a healing safe space. So in that sense, I think that it was like a natural progression from like sketching to taking notes from therapy in same pages.
yeah, yeah, I get that. That's fantastic. Um, so, Marcelo, what are you drawing? That looks um, a like a pot sticker or a bun.
It's
What
so it's so close to my place. There's this called
dumpling?
this place no, it's the place is called Super Tortas, and it's Mexican tortas,
Oh,
which are
okay.
not the same as Spanish tortas, because Spanish tortas are cakes. So it's kind of like the bolillo with like milanesa inside and like all the veggies, and I love them. They're hot. They're super tasty. And then for a while, I wanted to find some like tortas de milanesa with my sister, and then we found this place, and we were amazed that there was something so close to us selling tortas de milanesa. So that's a torta milanesa.
Love it.
Have you
Oh,
tried
that
them?
sounds so good right now.
It does.
Let's get some right now.
Yeah, I would love to.
Come over.
Uh, Adriana, what do you have? That looks
Uh,
delicious.
I have huevos rancheros. There's a
Oh,
I love
Killing me.
I always go there's a couple of restaurants around the neighborhood. Whenever we want to go out to eat, we end up having these big plans to go like somewhere super fancy far away. But then we end up going like a minute down the street
Right?
and I always get the same thing. I always get huevos rancheros
oh, qué
and
rico.
they're so good. This restaurant
Oh,
we Mexico, and I just love them. And there's the tortillas in here,
oh,
so
Oh, that looks
rancheros.
amazing.
oh
Love
my
it.
God.
Do you like it? Do you like them spicy, super spicy,
I like them
medium?
spicy. What my dad calls it con panza, like with the yolk, right? Like
Mm.
your belly.
Hmm.
Um, and so yeah, they're super. All the food there is so delicious. My other favorite food is the oh wow, I can't even think of it. I usually go back to what was rancheros all the time.
Oh my God. It sounds
Yeah,
so
that's
good.
a yeah, comfort food for me anyway. Um,
Yes.
Olivia, what do you have?
So there is this Colombian restaurant near us, and they have the best baked goods and breads. And I love, so they have empanadas. Get um uh uh so they're like uh tiny fried dough, but it's almost like pillowy on the inside. When you break it open, it's like nice and soft, and a little bit sweet, and it's really good with a little bit of coffee. Uh,
Mm.
and so I always love to get like different baked goods from there as like a little snack.
Yeah, what's your favorite like filling flavor?
I mean, pan de queso is one of my favorites. It's literally the cheese is baked within the bread. So like if you pull it apart, you get a bite of bread and cheese every single time you eat
Mm.
it. And it's
Mm.
like a little bit salty, a little bit sweet, so it's really balanced in the flavors. And it's what I grew up with, so it really reminds me of home.
Oh, that sounds wonderful. Oh, it sounds so good.
Oh.
Um, so for mine, I grew up in Arizona, then I lived in Los Angeles. We're talking like Mexican food capitals of the world. And then moving to Portland, it's been a little hard to try and find
Oh,
like what I grew
Oh,
up with, right? But as it happens, 2 blocks away is like the best taqueria in the city. So I can literally walk there like for dinner within minutes. And my favorite is I just love carne asada. And they have amazing tamales. And I swear, like my mom makes the best tamales in the world. But this place, their tamales are actually like a good substitute. So
wow.
this is I don't tell my mom, but this is like me with the carne asada and then with the tamales, which again I can't resist. Every time I'm there, I'm like, I'll have a couple of tacos and a tamale. They're just so good.
Oh my
Um,
God. And
yeah,
what do you
and
like? The tamale, el tamal.
um,
How? What do you like it? Like
um,
the pork, the
oh,
cheese.
I'm like beef or chicken. My mom, like I grew up, she always made red chili with beef.
Mm.
Chili colorado is what she calls it.
Mm.
And so like she actually has people that will like buy her tamales like around the holidays and
Oh
stuff
my
like that.
God.
So
Wow.
oh,
yeah,
that's
and it's like a family recipe.
Oh
Um,
my God. So
that
talented.
yeah, my family's known for tamales. So.
Oh my God.
Um, So, okay, so I guess we'll move on to probably our last prompt. And
um.
one of our last prompts, and so I'll take this from the audience. Draw your favorite thing or your favorite activity to do in your neighborhood. Um, as you're drawing, let's talk about like how do you think art and illustration, uh, str- what role do you think art and illustration play in strengthening community? That's kind of a deep question, but like, how does art play out in your community in ways that you think serve the community? And I'll start with Olivia.
Oh gosh. This is a big one. I mean, I think you can find art everywhere, which it shows that there's life. Art is such an inherent part of just being a person. You don't have to necessarily be like good at it to be an artist. Like, I think art means that you interact with the world around you and see beauty, whatever that means to you. Art is how people can personalize something, even as art, because it shows what color to paint the wall or what type to use. Just name, it doesn't have to be big, beautiful paintings all the time. It street art is a beautiful example that is just anyone kind of do.
Olivia, I think you're cutting out. You're yeah, you're breaking up a bit.
Am I? Wait.
Yeah.
Oh gosh, hang on. Can you hear me now? Anything?
Yeah. You're still kind of breaking up a bit.
Let me.
You want to try your?
Is it better without my headphones?
Yeah, I can hear you. That's good.
Okay.
Yes.
Oh gosh. Hang on. Now I can't hear you.
Uh-oh.
Right.
Well, are you there?
Yes. Can you hear me?
Okay. Yeah, no, I can hear you clearly. Yeah. Yeah. So you were saying
Sorry about
art,
that.
it's okay.
But yeah, I think art is whatever you see every day that makes you think there are people that are living there. So however you want to personalize anything, it could be the clothes you wear or the businesses you pass or what color you want to paint your walls in your house. It's whatever you do that makes you feel any kind of emotion, really.
Yeah, no, it's I agree. I agree with you. I totally I I have the same philosophy. Like, there's a lot of beautiful graffiti, a lot of beautiful like murals in my neighborhood. Again, it's called the Alberta Arts District. Um, and I just think it brings the community alive. And I love that there's even like a lot of sculpture in random places. Um, and even a lot of houses in my neighborhood have put like sculptures in their yards, like metal sculptures and stuff like that. A lot of like retaining walls around the neighborhood are painted, beautifully painted. I just think it all makes the neighborhood come alive, and it really builds on community, right? At least in my opinion. So Adriana, how do you think art and illustration play in strengthening community?
I think that it gives us an opportunity to tell our stories, that others might not necessarily know, and so I think that's really powerful. when you're able to share that part of your experience um, with others, because then it creates understanding and and pride too, right? And we can all use more understanding with each other, you know. Um,
Yeah.
so I think that's great. I love reading. I love seeing artwork from different perspectives, because I always think I can't do it. I can't do it. I'm always feel like I can't draw, and so I always love seeing other people's work. It's inspiring. It's like if that person can do that and express themselves with that color the way they wanted to, I can do that too. And hopefully that translates to the readers who are reading the books as well.
Yeah, that's lovely. I love that. Um, and Marcelo?
Yeah, I agree with what Adriana was saying. I think that it can be very, very inspiring just to hear other people's perspectives through their work. Um, and I think that yeah, I just have to agree with what she was saying. I think that it's a nice way to use kind of like just like share who we are, to like know other people, to see other people's perspectives, and also to keep it beautiful, to just make a community a little bit more beautiful, more like visually pleasing.
Hmm. Hmm.
Y'all are saying so many amazing things. I wish I will definitely have to go back and replay this to write it down. But I love what you said that art, that it shares who we are, and
Yeah,
that like says it all right there. And just being able to see things from other people's perspectives. I think art is also gives insight into other, like how people think, um, and share their experiences with the world. So, what what do you have on your pad there, Olivia?
Sorry, me?
Yeah, yeah.
My favorite thing to do in my community is really work in all of the coffee shops. Thankfully, I have like five, which are like within walking distance of my apartment. So I like to try all of them out and spend as much time as they'll let me. But I always like go there, buy myself a coffee, settle in, and try and just like sketch away and
Hmm.
experience just everyday people. But it's great because sometimes if you go to the same places, you recognize the regulars, or even you become friends with the people who work there after a while. They start to recognize you, you recognize them. So I feel like it's just a really great way for me to connect and find out more about my neighbors. And again, it gives me really good inspiration for my art and characters in books.
Yeah, that's fantastic. What is your coffee drink of choice?
Ooh, I like just a classic cappuccino or something. I don't like black coffee. I need a little bit of milk and sugar always. But yeah, I
Yes.
think
Okay.
cappuccino is solid, not too fancy, and it gets the job done.
Awesome, awesome. And Marcelo, what do you have?
so my favorite activity to do in my neighborhood would be to walk our dogs with my sister. So supposedly that's me and my sister walking our dogs, and we have two kind of like tiny wild crazy dogs. Her name is Prana, that's mine. Her name is Pia, that's hers. And they're like insane when we take them out. They're always like running and then just like sniffing everything, and then this one, she's like super strong and she's always pulling us. Oh, and it's always like a chore and it's like hard to keep them like tamed. I'll say impossible to keep them tamed, but I really appreciate it.
That's very cute. What are your dogs' names?
Prana and Pia.
Very, very
Those are
love
cute.
that.
Thanks a
And
lot.
Adriana,
Um,
Adriana?
yeah, so what I drew was Hamilton Street, and one of my favorite activities is to drive around the neighborhood and look at all the murals. There's some murals on Hamilton Street. They're old murals. I remember them when I was a little girl. And then also I like to see all the new artwork that pops up in the city. And so I like to do that. So I this is these are some murals that are on Hamilton Street.
Okay, well, so the hand holding the what is that? Like dirt
Yeah,
with the
yeah. So it's a hand holding dirt. Like so, there's the courts, which are some housing projects near here, and there's one image on all of the facades of the buildings. There's murals, and this one has. I remember it has a hand um, bringing down a seedling, like the beginnings of a plant, putting it onto the earth. So you can infer, you can think about whatever that is, what that means, right? But I just thought it was such a powerful image. It always stuck in my
oh,
head. And then we have the Virgen de Guadalupe
Oh,
as well, which is around, always giving me peace.
that's lovely. I love that. Um, so mine, thank you all for sharing. Mine is, I love to exercise. I love to get outside. And there are a lot of hidden stairs in my neighborhood because it's kind of hilly. So I love to go up and down the stairs, and I love that they're tucked away between houses, but they're public. So they're well maintained. So there's like a lot of like plants and stuff around the stairs, and it's like today would be perfect for me this afternoon to go take a walk and just go up and again they're like hidden, so unless you know they're there, you wouldn't really find them. So I think it's a great hidden gem. So we're actually at the end. Again, so if you want to share, we'll go around really, and share if you want to share your social media where people can find you and your next project. And I'll start with Adriana.
Hi, so I just finished remembering, but I have another project coming out in 2025 with Joy Harjo called For a Girl Becoming. So look for that. And you can find me on Instagram at Adriana M. Garcia.
Great. Thank you. Olivia?
Yeah. So, Great Idea Malia came out September 17th, so you can find it in anywhere that sells books. So go ahead and check that out. My fourth book that I'm working on is called Sticky Hermana, and 25. So stay tuned for that one. You can find me on Instagram at Olivia de Castro Art.
Thank you. And good luck with the next book. Good luck with you as well, Adriana. And Marcelo?
and me, so this is my latest book, El Atrapasueños and the Dreamcatcher. So find it everywhere where books are sold. My social media, it's just Marcelo Verdad, like just where is it? Here. Like that, just like
Okay.
Marcelo Verdad on Instagram. And then I have an upcoming book with Harper, and this is my first time working just as an illustrator, so it's gonna be very exciting. The name is The Dump Truck, and it's very very cute. It's super funny, very very silly, and with like with a heart. So it's a great project, and I'm very very excited about that one. It's coming out in 2026.
Congratulations. Fantastic.
Yay!
Um, And my next book comes out in 2026. It's yet to be titled. We're actually working on that as we speak. But it's with Holiday House Books. But you can keep up to date with what I've got going on Instagram. Matthew Did It is my handle. So thank you all for joining us today. It's been amazing talking to you, and I can't wait to go back and rewatch because you all said some fantastic things, and you're all so talented. So thank you for sharing your
Oh.
talent with us today. Um, and everyone, thank you for attending the panel, the draw off today at Latinx Kidlit Book Festival. So thanks again, and take care.
Thank
Bye.
you.
Bye, everyone.